Welcome back to Retirement Today. I'm your co-host Jonathan Berkland. With me here in the studio, as always, Michael Reese. He's a certified financial planning professional helping those of you out there get to and through retirement with confidence. That's the most important thing, to get to and through with confidence. And that's what we're trying to help you out with today, right? We have some indicators we've been talking about that, might tell you maybe your advisor is not the advisor for you in retirement. Maybe you need a second opinion. We've talked through 1, 2, and 3, and we saved the best for last. That's our favorite topic.
Oh, yeah. So here we go. And this all comes, by the way, an article several years ago. I think it was Smart Money magazine, back when they actually printed magazines.
Yes.
But they talked about advisors. And the headline of the article was something like, why your current advisor is probably not the advisor to get you through retirement.
Right.
And the whole focus of the article was most financial advisors are trained to help you grow and accumulate your money. Mm-hmm. But retirement's a completely different game. It's much more advanced. There are many other issues that come into play other than just growing your money. You need to protect it. You need income. You need health care. You need taxes. You need estate planning. Just so many other things. And the article was talking about, hey, the person you have probably doesn't have that skill set. Just like a pediatrician says to you once you're old enough, you're an adult, time to move on to a doctor.
Right.
A financial advisor should say time to move on to a retirement advisor, but they don't.
Yeah,
you got to do that on your own. So we were talking about indicators that should tell you whether or not your advisor is the right advisor to get you through retirement. So if you're retired, if you're nearing retirement, your advisor should, number 1, focus on protecting your assets.
Yes.
Number 2, help you with income planning. And number 3, healthcare planning. And in all of these areas, if you have to go to your advisor and say, hey, what about this? Guess what? You've got the wrong advisor. That's not your job. You're paying your advisor to advise you. A good advisor, a retirement advisor, is going to visit with you regularly, but bring this to your attention. And by the way, I heard this one the other day. This doesn't count. I heard someone I was talking to the other day, they said, well, they're talking about how they're going to retire. They want to retire in 6 months. Uh-huh. And I said, okay, well, they had an advisor. I said, so what's their plan? What are they telling you to do? What's their income plan for you?
Yeah.
Well, they haven't really talked to me about that yet.
Oh.
How do you feel about that?
Yet, because we're so far away, right?
6 months. How do you feel about that? Well, I haven't really asked them yet.
Oh. Yeah.
Nothing. I'm telling you, it's a pet peeve. Because I know as an advisor, here's what I know. I know that either A, that person's advisor is not one that is the right advisor for retirement. Because if they were, they would have already said, oh, you're getting within a couple of years of retirement, we better start putting an income plan together. Mm-hmm. And that would be the latest they should bring that conversation up. Right. Hey, you're going to retire in 5 years. Let's start figuring this out would be a better thing to say. Second, since when is it your job as the paying client to teach your advisor what to teach you?
Yeah.
It's like, you're going to retire in 6 months? No. This story continues. The next time I saw them, they said, oh, Mike, I talked to our advisor between visits. And they said, oh, you know what? Glad you brought that up. You're just, a step ahead of me. That was on the agenda for our next meeting.
Of course.
Of course it is.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's not on the agenda for the first meeting until you bring it up, right? And 6 months before retirement, this should have been worked out long ago. That advisor is definitely the wrong advisor for this person's retirement. Now, I'm not saying we're the right ones, but they need someone who is. Mm-hmm. Now, protection, income, healthcare, those are the first 3. Does your advisor actively bring these topics to your attention? But now we're coming to number 4. And this is one of the most important topics. And this is something that very few advisors focus on. And you need one who does. And it has to do with taxes. Now, if you're like most people, you probably have a lot of money saved for retirement in a 401k, 403b, or IRA. This is money that has never been taxed. Now, if you're watching us on YouTube, you see Benny the Tax Monster here in studio. Now, Benny, we were joking before the show, Benny the Tax Monster is kind of like Cookie Monster. So remember in Sesame Street, Cookie Monster would grab those cookies and just chow them to pieces?
Yeah.
That's how Benny views your 401k or your IRA or 403b. He's like, cookies, and he wants to just chew the heck out of them. The harsh reality is that for many families, taxes in retirement are larger than you ever thought they would be. The good news is that you have more control with your tax planning in retirement than probably you ever had when you were working. The question is your advisor helping you get to a place of zero tax in retirement or as close as you can get as quickly as possible? Are you having meetings every year with your advisor where they're saying, hey, we need to aggressively, or at least in some structured way, move money out of these accounts that are going to cause all kinds of tax problems in retirement to something that's tax-free? Because when it comes to taxes, you will be feeding Benny the Tax Monster. You're going to feed him.
Yep.
The question is, how do you arrange your affairs to feed him the smallest amount? Like, how do you put him on a diet? So that's our job. Like, how do we put Benny on a diet? That's what we're trying to do for you.
There you go.
Now, if your friends want to fill him with, feed him up and make him gluttonous and fat and ugly, he's ugly. You can't.
Yeah, I don't know if
Not
you can
going
do
to
worse
get
than
past
that.
Yeah, but make him all fat. That's fine for them. But I don't want you making Benny fat. I want you giving him as little as possible. So are you sitting down every year? Does your advisor every year say, hey, it's time to sit down and review your taxes? That should be a meeting all on its own. It's not like, hey, we want to review your portfolio and do some tax planning. No. We need to focus just on taxes.
Right.
How do we keep taxes to a minimum? How do we get you to zero tax as quickly as you can? Now, I have clients, by the way, making six figures. They have over 100 grand of income in retirement. Legally, 100% tax-free.
It's amazing.
I have a brother-in-law. I've helped him with his planning. He's going to get over $200,000 of income, 100% tax-free.
That's awesome.
Imagine that.
Amazing.
Right? All because it's all about knowing the tax code.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about knowing the tax code, and it's all about saying, hey, instead of just sitting here and just taking it, how do we use the tax code in our favor instead of against us? Now, that might mean Roth conversions. It might mean conservation easements. It might mean charitable giving, right? It might be, hey, I can't tell you how much money in taxes people save when they, I have clients all the time. They say, yeah, we give our church roughly $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000 a year, right? But they're giving it to them out of their pockets.
Yes, right in the check.
They're over 70 and a half. Pay it out of the IRA.
Exactly.
It's the biggest no-brainer in the world. If you're younger, are you using donor advised funds for that? Right? Are you using donor advised funds for your charitable giving? And if you're not, why not? Probably because your advisor's too lazy to learn the tax code and they're not telling you about it. Or how about this one? You do it yourself. And again, especially with the tax code, you don't know what you don't know. Right? You don't know what you don't know. So many opportunities are missed. Because you just want to do it yourself, right? There is value to paying professionals at this stage of your life, right? Make sure you're getting value. So as we kind of wrap this up, the show tonight, here's what we have. 4 indicators. Is your advisor the right advisor for retirement? And if they fail on any of these, you probably need a second opinion. Number 1, do they focus on protecting your assets? And it's not just talk, it's action. Do they actually move money out of the markets when markets are going south? No, or are they buy and hold? By the way, buy and hold, danger signal for retirement. Number 2, are they focused on income? Because remember, in retirement, it's not about how much money you have, it's about how much income you have.
Exactly.
Number 3, how much do they help you with your health care? How much do they know about Medicare, long-term care? Not, hey, we send this off to somebody else, right? It's, hey, we understand it and we have someone on our team internally that takes care of it for you. And number 4, taxes. Are you visiting with your advisor every year to proactively manage taxes to help get you to a 0 tax bracket as quickly as possible? Or as close to 0 as you can get, because not everyone can get to 0, right? Is that happening? And if any of these things are not connecting with your advisor, you probably need a second opinion. This is your last chance tonight. So here's the deal. I told you first 10 callers.
Yes.
Problem. We've already had more than 10 people call in.
That's right.
So I'm going to open up 4 more spots. So for the first 4 callers here at the end of the show, if you give us a call, we'll put together a free, personalized, no obligation Retire Right report. It'll tell you everything you need to know about your retirement planning. Make sure you're on the right track. Jonathan, let's get that number out there.
All right. Give us a call at 512-886-5850. Again, the number is 512-886-5850.
That's right, folks. After hours, you'll get a time set up with Jonathan. He'll talk to you for a couple of minutes and get you set up with the right person to help answer your questions. 512-886-5850. Call us now. It is so important. And with that, that's our show. We will talk to you again next week.